guys, hello and welcome. I'm sorry that I haven't casted any games in a long time. I've been quite busy with planning for Alchemy League Season 4, but hopefully I'll be able to start getting caught up at least tonight, sneaking in a set before I have to go to bed to return to work tomorrow morning. So let's take a look at the players in the first match that we'll be witnessing. First set, we've got Ween Dinchester versus Wizanatic. So they are the number 3 and the number 5 seeds, respectively, coming in at around 2 and 2.1k. So these are very good players, and maybe we'll learn something from watching them. So let me zoom in on that so you can see it a little bit better. They are both from Germany. Wizanatic has played with us for every single tournament that I've ever hosted. He has played in, which is kind of cool. And Ween Dinchester is new to us just this season. He just found us. All right. Let's go and check out the game. The first one is on the map of the round. And for this particular round, that map is Kresvigedo. This is our improved version of Hideout. It's Hideout, but for Greek maps. In the blue, he's around 11 o'clock. We've got Ween Dinchester playing as the Portuguese. Uh-oh, Portuguese. He's probably not up to any good there. And then in the red, we have Wizanatic playing as the Vietnamese. Now, Wizanatic, being the Vietnamese, he is going to know that Ween Dinchester is actually starting quite close. Because the Vietnamese have vision over the starting location of enemy town centers, although I can't see it in Capture Age here, so that must be a visual bug. Maybe I have to hit that or something. Try to toggle through. I don't know, but we know that he should be able to see it unless they got rid of that bonus for some stupid reason. I think it's a good bonus here. So I guess what I'm getting at is, you know, if you're Wizanatic and you're a 2K player, this ain't your first rodeo. You know that this map is very similar to Hideout. You know that strategies that would work well on Hideout would work well on this map as well. And you can expect that your opponent, who is also a 2K player, maybe even a little bit ahead of you in ELO, technically Ween Dinchester is the higher seed here. You can expect that he's going to have a really elegant fast castle type build for this map. You do start with the palisade walls, so that helps. You start with some safe resources. You can start with a pretty safe wood line. You'd have to play pretty poorly to lose your wood line early on Hideout. So it might be an opportunity for Wizanatic as that deer goes the wrong way. Maybe he can get some feudal pressure in and really hurt Ween Dinchester and prevent Ween Dinchester from doing the fast castle. Hey, Cookie Pirate, welcome. Because those organ guns could be quite devastating against feudal age archers. So we take a look at the idle town center time. We of course see that it's nothing. Both these players are very good at keeping their economy rolling. And it's kind of like a safe map. You know, there's not like a lot of scout fighting or microing that these players have to be doing early game. So you would expect some pretty good idle town center time. As I say that, looks like Ween Dinchester has missed about 4 seconds of it. But I would be happy if I could have 4 seconds, like the first 4 seconds into the game. So we're not going to knock him too hard. This is some crazy Portuguese build where you build the mill first, and then you chop stragglers to be able to get the wood for a lumber camp. Ween Dinchester, of course, built his lumber camp first, and he built this mill later. It's coming, Wizanatic coming here for the boar lure. We better not forget about it, though. Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't even know what they're saying is the thing, but that's very unfortunate for Wizanatic. I guess it just goes to show that even 2K players can lose a villager to a boar. That is not good at all. And he he is at an elo disadvantage from Ween Dinchester. So he can't be too happy about that. But if Ween Dinchester tries to attack him and is unsuccessful, then he'll still have the advantage. So now we see that Ween Dinchester is one villager ahead, despite having a little bit of town center idle time. Scout, I think, is pushing in the last of the deer here. Wizenatic has deleted a number of palisade segments here. Usually the players only delete one. This is telling me that Wizenatic plans to build a barracks or some other production building here. Probably a barracks. You do start on this map with only 1 gold inside of your walls. So he can't really afford to give this area away. He doesn't want to like wall to here and then wall to here, because then enemy archers or other ranged units could reach his gold. So there will probably be a production building right here. We see that we have got 4 on wood here, so I am expecting a scouts build from Wizenatic. He's going to make this last villager, and then I think he's clicking up. Yeah, he's got Feudal Age queued right behind it. So he is doing a 23 pop archers. But remember that he lost a villager, so it's really a 24 pop. Presumably, I guess I think it's probably archers. I hope it's archers. Maybe it's not archers. You know, maybe he is doing a 24 pop fast castle. He is clicked up before Ween Dinchester has. Ween Dinchester is doing a 25 pop. I don't know. Maybe Wizenatic will surprise us with some kind of fast castle build of his own, but maybe he will. Maybe he'll make a castle to defend and then make those rattans. I don't know. I feel like he. I don't understand what they're saying. It's all in German. I feel like he would get more value out of a big ball of archers and like breaking in here and taking Ween Dinchester off of gold and all that nasty stuff. But I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just delusional. We don't see a barracks coming up here for Wizenatic, so I think this is a fast castle. He's just about got the wood that he needs. And we see that Ween Dinchester is picking a fight with this villager. He almost gets it. But Wizenatic reacting quickly, and those villagers fighting it off. Here's the market, and where's the blacksmith? There it is. So Wizenatic knows his opponent is Portuguese. Yeah, they're saying the scout is pretty weak. He looks scary. He'd be good for picking off a villager here or there that is going off on their own. But you really got to be careful in these custom map tournaments to not have an overpowered scout. Because then everybody whines and complains. Alright, so he's basically just going to leave this hole here. He knows his opponent's Portuguese. He's like, nah. My opponent isn't going to come at me in Feudal Age. He knows. Comes around. He's exploring the perimeter here of this hideout forest. He knows he's going to get attacked in Castle Age, which means he has some time. And his goal is to prevent Ween Dinchester from doing damage with those organ guns. And he is going to be up to the Castle Age first. They're saying something about 2-second pro attack. So I think that if I can translate here, it's basically that the swordsman does damage at half the rate of a normal scout. What he normally would do. So you look at it and it looks scary. It looks like he's got 7 attack, but in reality he only has 3.5 attack because he attacks the same rate as a scout. So, but he's only got 1/3 of the health, so he's pretty weak. He just looks scary. He's like a Custilier. Alright, Castle Age coming in for both players. Ween Dinchester is getting Horse Collar. He is heavily on stone. So we expect that there's been no change of plans here. The question is, does Ween Dinchester try and drop that castle? I don't know. I don't think so. I think at this level players are just too good. I think it's really hard to get away with a castle drop at this level. I think he builds it defensively. And he hasn't started moving out across the map either. He just hit Castle Age, so I think he's going to build it defensively. What's Wizenatic going to do? Wizenatic is going to build a town center and a monastery. So Wisnatic's plan is to boom. I think that's a mistake. I think Wisnatic needs to take Ween Dinchester's organ guns seriously. These organ guns can do a lot of damage. They're pretty fast. And it looks like Ween Dinchester, sensing no danger from his opponent. Alright, he's going to build it right there. So, it's not a castle drop, but it is a forward castle. And he's kind of taking the gamble here that his opponent has no archers, right? Because what if his opponent had, like, 6 crossbows right now, and they were just right here? It would be GG. And in fact, those crossbows would probably just wait until the castle was, like, half built, and then start attacking. Meanwhile, Wisnatic using the market a little bit to maximize the boom. He wants to catch up in villager count, but I think he's going to need to take the organ guns seriously soon enough. Let's analyze Wisnatic's gold. He's got 1 gold here, and he's got 1 gold here. So, it's possible for Ween Dinchester to park a bunch of organ guns right here and just deny a ton of gold for Wisnatic. Where's Wisnatic's next closest gold after that? It's over here. Oof. That really hurts. So, Wisnatic, I think, needs to be careful. Otherwise, he could lose a gold very easily. The organ guns are under construction for Ween Dinchester. So, we've got one, another one almost made. What is this? This looks like an outpost building villager. I could be wrong. He's still got 3 on stone too, so maybe he is thinking in the long term he wants another castle, but for right now it's just a sustainment amount, 6 or 7 on food just to keep the villager production coming, and then everything on gold and wood. No. Okay, this is a monastery. So here he comes. Actually, let's check and see what Ween Dinchester knows. Ween Dinchester actually knows where both of Wisnatic's golds are. So he could be extremely dastardly and deny both of them at the same time. Now he's coming over here to get some damage in on the villagers. And he, just like that, takes Wisnatic off of gold. Now what does Wisnatic do? Wisnatic reacts by building a siege workshop, but that's not going to do him any good if he can't afford to produce mangonels. So Ween Dinchester, he's on a clock. Ween Dinchester trying to get in. Wisnatic doing the house wall here. It's not a perfect wall because the organ guns can still come around here, but it's decent. It'll buy him some time. Siege workshop is up. He'll probably sell some resources to make a mangonel. Yeah, he just sold some food. Oh, no, he sold stone. So he's going to take stone and he's going to sell that for gold. He's collected a relic so far. And the organ guns. Okay. Now, Ween Dinchester sees this siege workshop. Ween Dinchester sees it, and he is expecting defensive mangonels. So he's got a monk here, and you can see that he's just gotten redemption now. So he already has the counters lined up for this. Wisnatic wants a town center on this gold. This will secure the gold. He built this town center first, I think because he was maybe planning on a castle long term. And there's this mangonel here. This mangonel is not going to have much luck. You can't dodge God, my friend. But you can dodge a head full of rocks. And now the villagers are all charging that mangonel. And Wisnatic is not going to be able to get this up. He has not taken this situation seriously. He has 2 forward golds. And we like seeing this kind of stuff. We like seeing players punished because they don't secure resources. It's no fun when you have a map that's like all the resources are safe and everybody booms up into the Imperial Age. We like maps that force players to fight over resources. Okay, so Wisnatic is going to come back here and he's going to build the mining camp. Remember that, you know, stone is still a decent exchange rate for gold. And Wisnatic is getting redemption of his own, which I think is the right thing to do. Ween Dinchester is getting sanctity. Probably because he is expecting Wisnatic to go scouts, but Wisnatic is actually going to go monks to deal with this. And probably when Ween Dinchester spots all the monasteries, he will go atonement. Portuguese get atonement, and I don't think that Vietnamese do. Let's take a look at the villager count here. Wisnatic 5 villagers ahead of Ween Dinchester. Not a lot, considering where they are at in the game so far. Mangonel comes out, gets a couple of hits on these organ guns before Wisnatic deletes it to spare its conversion. Ween Dinchester has he's converted that market, or he tried to convert that market, and Wizanatic deleted it. This is looking pretty ugly, and just as I predicted, Ween Dinchester is getting atonement because he does not want Wizanatic to be able to mount a monk defense. Wizanatic knows he can't build this castle here, so he has to pull the villagers back, and he will probably delete this foundation pretty soon. Vietnamese do get atonement. Cookie Pirate with the clutch knowledge. Thank you, Cookie Pirate. That's good to know. Looks like Wizanatic has converted one of Ween Dinchester's organ guns. Wizanatic just wants to build this castle and secure that gold, but there's a mangonel and some organ guns in the way. And Wizanatic calls the GG. He has lost access to the gold. He built too many town centers. I bet his opponent is still only on one town center. Yeah. So classic case of one town center all-in push beating the boom. Nevertheless, a very entertaining game to watch, though, especially played at such a high level. We'll give the first win to Ween Dinchester. Call me Google Pirate. You had to double check, but you thought they did. It's a very useful technology, those monk techs. All right, let's go take a look. The second map was selected via a discard system. This is the map that they are both the least afraid of. It is Frurio, and it is the Greek version of Fortress. It's Fortress, but with some improvements. And I will explain those improvements in just a little bit, as soon as we get the map up. So, we're in. We can go ahead and unpause. Here we go. So, Frurio is Greek Fortress. Actually, it's more than just Fortress. It's Greek Regicide Fortress. You start with a king. Where is he? Where is the king? Here he is. So here's Wizanatic's king right here. He's a little fat guy, and he's wobbling around back here. But he's actually surprisingly fast, which is good, because it allows him to run away from people on horseback. So how does Frurio different? Well, number one, the bases are closer together on Frurio compared to traditional Fortress. So it's a little bit more aggressive, less boomy. You got some hills in the front. There's the potential to lay a good siege on your opponent. The relics are also all on the inside of this inner Pac-Man type shape. Sometimes it looks like a Pac-Man. Right now it just looks like a lightning bolt. And you've got all these relics in here, so there's competition over the relics. Remember that Alchemy League is standard victory. But then there are thicker forests out here that you can boom in. Okay? This line on the minimap doesn't really mean anything. It's just there to mark the boundary where the relics have to stay inside of. As Wizanatic says, dad gum. There is a ring of unbuildable rock terrain around the edge of the map. Okay, and this prevents players from walling to the edge of the map. So, mobile units have a few more options on this map than traditional Fortress. There's potentially choppable stone in the corners. I mean, it's behind this row of trees. You have to chop to it. And it's on the other side of this unbuildable ring terrain. So, you know, it's not terribly useful, but potentially late game it could become useful. They're both exploring the map here. Ween Dinchester, you got to explore with your king on Regicide, which is kind of dangerous. What else? The castles tend to be in the back. Okay. And the towers, it's about 4 towers, I think. They start in the front. So, because the castle's in the back, it means that there could be more of an opportunity for a Castle Age push. You know, like Ween Dinchester he's just got a stone wall here that's completely exposed. These towers reasonably well cover the front. Let's take a look at Wizanatic's base. I guess he's a little bit better covered than Ween Dinchester. Like traditional Fortress, you start with a barracks. Let's talk about the civilizations. Ween Dinchester is Georgians. I think Georgians are a great pick for this map. Wizanatic is the Berbers, who I think are also a solid pick for this map. Let me explain why Georgians make a lot of sense here. I don't know much about the Georgians, personally. But the impression I get is that they are a defensive cavalry civilization. Look at all these hills. They could build fortifications on these hills and then defend them more easily because they spend half the amount of stone required to repair their buildings relative to other civilizations. Also, the fact that you can't wall to the edge of the map, that's great for cavalry braids, and the Georgians love cavalry. Berbers, Berber's solid mobility civ, right? Just a general use power civ. They have excellent power spikes with their knights, and they can definitely make things happen. I don't know that they have the same defensive bonuses that Georgians do, but Berbers get access to camels, so you know they can overpower Georgian cavalry in time if the Georgians don't have a lot of pikemen out, and if the Georgians do have a lot of pikemen out, it could still be a drain on their economy. Plus, pikemen are slow, and they can just go around them with this unbuildable rock terrain layer. So, yeah, I could see benefits to both of these civilizations on this map. I wish I could understand what they were saying, though. Otherwise, I'd translate it for you guys. It looks so interesting. Oh, they're talking about Schickso, who was another German player. Either that or there's a German word called Schickso, and I just don't know what it means. So let's see if we can figure out what their strategies are. You start with extra villagers on Fortress, so it's really hard to, you know, pick out what people are doing. I mean, market, but surprise, surprise, you know, from Wizanatic. Market blacksmith. So, fast castle for him. It doesn't look like he's going to go scouts and contest anything. Any relics, at least not anytime soon. Ween Dinchester might build a stable and a market. No, he builds a blacksmith and a market as well. So, very similar builds from these guys. 24 and 23 villagers. Wizanatic did Wizanatic... He's gotten one death. What if his died? Maybe his traditional scout died. Yeah. His traditional heavy swordsman died somehow, and we just didn't see it. Which is unfortunate, because I was too busy talking about the map. But you know what? He's still got a king that he could scout with, even though it'd be kind of dangerous. Yeah, here's the king. So, you know, by the time you start getting around to Castle Age, you need to bring your king inside of your walls. It just gets too dangerous out there. We all saw what happened to Lucho. I know, Lucho, the #1 seed in the tournament. If it can happen to him, it can happen to anybody. Just remember that. So, not very exciting so far, and there's not a lot of feudal action to necessarily be done on this map, and I think that's true with Fortress in general. You could try to tower rush somebody, but they already have defensive towers up, and they like have the stone walls, and they have all of this visibility. Wizanatic's build is very bizarre to me. It seems like he would have wanted to invest more in farms. He's just now taking his boar. What is going on with Wizanatic? Is Wizanatic going to do some crazy all-in push? I think that would be very entertaining, actually. I guess we'll see. Maybe Wizanatic just has terrible eco. But I don't think so. I think there's more to it than that. I think he's going for something. Wizanatic... Oh, look at this. He's getting fletching. Interesting. I bet he's going to go camel archers immediately. But why? Maybe the camel archers, he's going to use them to get the relics. Maybe that's his plan. Maybe he believes that camel archers will overpower light cavalry. Hey, Smokey! Welcome! How's it going, Smokey? Smokey, I saw something about you playing in the World Desert Championship. Huhue Kyoto was, he was mentioning that he was excited that our community, apparently our community has a team, at least one team, maybe more than one, of Smokey and Emu Warrior and a couple of other guys that I have yet to meet. The qualifiers, at least. Smokey's been buddying up to Emu Warrior, trying to suck up to him and get him to sign up for Alchemy League so that Smokey can teach him some manners in Alchemy League. The competition of men. You know, I saw that and I was just like, shaking my head. I was like, oh no, oh no. Are Smokey and Emu going to be on the same flank in the World Desert Championship? And Smokey's job is going to be to survive as long as possible while the Emu Warrior booms to 200 villagers. And then deletes half of them, and then comes in and wins 3 versus 1 because the rest of his team died. Just Emu Warrior things. I shouldn't pick on him too much. Look at this. Alright, so we got a boom from Ween Dinchester here as the Georgians. And Wizanatic has built only one... Okay, he's building his 3rd town center now. So Wizanatic is making a bigger play for these relics so far. He's made a bigger investment than Ween Dinchester has. Ween Dinchester has the 3 town centers. And I guess Wizanatic has 3 as well. But he's just building his 3rd now. And I don't really know that he's got enough on food to sustain this for long. But he seems to really want to have some camel archers out and to be snagging relics. And he's got his king out here too, which is kind of funny. You know, I never really understood this at first until I played a Regicide FFA game or something like that. And suddenly you get this notification that you've been defeated because you had 16 different castles making unique units and streaming them out toward the battle. And then you realize that you're looking around and you're like, oh crap, where's my king? And then you realize, oh shoot, my king was in the castle and he's been ejected with the rest of my unique unit that I'm making. And he's probably running to his death. And it's a race to try to find that king before he gets killed at the front lines. And there's it's 500 pop and there's units everywhere and you can't see them. Yeah, that is a pretty awkward experience. So anyway, so I never understood why people would just let their king hang out outside the castle until then. And yeah, Wizanatic chasing that Manaspa off with his camel archers. Camel archers they're expensive, but they do deal 1 more attack than traditional, even cavalry archers, I believe. I think cavalry archers in Castle Age are at 6 and crossbowmen are at 5. I could be wrong about that. But I do know that cavalry archers have they're pretty hard hitting. Sorry, camel archers. But that isn't stopping Ween Dinchester. He wants to try to pick off this monk and slow this process down. And he does get the monk. The camel archers are coming up. And they are going to try to punish this and get revenge. Luckily for Wizanatic, he had an extra monk handy. So we can come and grab this relic. Did Ween Dinchester manage to get a relic? He did. This is huge. So Ween Dinchester managing to sneak 1 relic in means that Wizanatic cannot win with a relic victory. Wizanatic is at 48 villagers and Ween Dinchester is at 55. So, really, I would rather be in Wizanatic's position right now than Ween Dinchester's. It's true, Ween Dinchester has more villagers, but Wizanatic has 4 times as many relics. So, in the long run, Wizanatic has the advantage, right? All that Wizanatic has to do is stall and catch up in the boom and then let the free gold do the winning. Ween Dinchester coming out here to build a town center. If Wizanatic knew about this, I think that he could actually deny it. But Wizanatic doesn't know about that. He's too busy doing his own thing over here. Looks like he's scouting. Actually, Wizanatic doesn't know that there's a gold pile here. So he wouldn't really have any reason to go over there anyway. Which is unfortunate for Wizanatic, because I think he could use this, right? He wants to catch up. He's 9 villagers behind in the boom. His opponent is just now getting wheelbarrow with 26 villagers on food. I guess, with Fortress it's a little bit different, because you start with extra villagers. Wizanatic thinking, it's about time I built another town center out here too, so he's going to come out here and start building this town center with 2 villagers. He's going to send some more, though. I wonder if my processes got switched around. It seems like Capture Age is kind of slow today. I did just do a PC restart. So, Wizanatic with 8 military to Ween Dinchester's 3. I really feel like Wizanatic could be a pain somewhere. Maybe not. Relic coming across. Where is Wizanatic going with this? Does he think there's a relic out here? No, there's no relic out here. All the relics are inside of this this lightning bolt shaped tan line here. Yeah, there's a lot of good maps in the World Desert Championship. This is the first stream that I've done since the map contest concluded, and I just want to add some context. I was not expecting to do anything with that map contest, but Huhuei Koedel messaged me and we chatted for a little while, and at the time they hadn't actually gotten many maps yet, so I decided that I was gonna put 3 maps into that map contest, you know, just really to help them out, right, as backup. They're good maps, but they weren't custom made for that map contest, and so they don't really deserve to be considered as long as people have custom created maps for the map contest. Because, right, somebody worked hard on that, they had a dream, they had a vision, and it's not really fair for somebody that's just like, oh yeah, you know, I made this years ago, let me fire this off in your direction, use this instead, unless it's like way, way better. But anyway, I've been very critical of the way that these map contests for bigger tournaments are generally run, and I don't think that structurally, policy-wise, this was much better. But Huhuei Koedel, who is the map organizer, is one of us. Like, he's part of our community. He likes what we're doing. He wants to implement a lot of it, but it's not just his opinion that matters. So you could tell that there was a really nice guy at the steering wheel of this map contest, even though their policies, based on the results, even though their policies weren't much different. I think maybe Huhuei Koedel knows all about it though, and he'd be like, no, these are all the things we're doing differently. So it looks like Ween Dinchester wants to get that really annoying Georgian castle on the hill. But Wizanatic here with the Camel Archers, and he's actually going to deny it. He's going to kill some Manaspa, and now Ween Dinchester has to run away. So having said that, I submitted a few maps. I submitted a Petra map, which is probably really better in 1v1, and plus it was Nomad, and they didn't need Nomad maps. And it was the Middle East, and they didn't need Middle Eastern desert maps. So I didn't expect that one to go anywhere. I submitted Karga, but that map is, again, in Northern Africa / Middle East. So they didn't really need that, although they still really liked it. And then I submitted a Jupiter map, which, you know, I did that kind of a joke, because it just happened to have a desert look to it. And Ween Dinchester is going to build his castle over here. And Wizanatic will build the castle there instead. So Wizanatic with 90 villagers to Ween Dinchester's 97. I think Wizanatic's doing pretty well so far. That was a good win for him. He needed that. Because he was a little bit behind in villagers, and he's down a game. So maybe Wizanatic will be in a really good position to win this. He's going to come over here and mine this gold. I submitted the Jupiter map because I was like, hey, you know what? There's no water on Jupiter. And I'd say it's pretty desert-like. But Huhuei Koedel said he appreciated the effort, but they have to focus on deserts that are on Earth, which I completely respect. Yeah, that's the big risk, is that and this is something that we don't even do with the Alchemy AoE community, and we probably should. Is we should have some like one-page template where they sketch up their map, and then, you know, maybe we leave a space for them to draw what their map approximately looks like, and then maybe like write some commentary about its special features, and then, you know, we could get like 100 of those, and those would basically be like map proposals, and then we can kind of choose based on that. You know, because I think that a lot of people will have some really great ideas, and I think that's one of the big weaknesses about Alchemy League, was that we had like 1 or 2 people deciding all of the maps. Maybe it would have been better for Alchemy League Season 4 if we had just been like, hey everybody, we're going to go to Alaska for Alchemy League Season 4. Send us your proposals. And based on how creative it is and how much we like what you wrote up and what you sketched up, we will then you know, select you to make that map, and then we'll develop the component spec, which kind of spells out all those terms in detail of what, you know, you're going to give us for this tournament. And, you know, maybe that's the way that we should have done things, because it would have opened it up for some really creative guys, especially like people like Jasuni. Jasuni has a fantastic imagination, and it could have given them a little bit more freedom to do stuff that still would have worked out well for us. So Ween Dinchester is double castling this area. He really feels very strongly about it. I guess it makes sense. He doesn't have a lot of resources left over here, except maybe some farmland. He could relocate that over here, though. Scores are close, I think. Wizanatic making a trebuchet, and Wizanatic is probably just going to go mass camel archers here. Let's see, he's got one castle. No camels, though. Yeah, he's going camel archers. He's getting bracer. He's getting bloodlines. Camel archers take longer. I don't know that I agree with that. Ween Dinchester is getting plate barding armor. Would it really be so hard to go heavy camel and, you know, take advantage of their cheaper heavy camels, fight off those Manaspas, and then when you start to see the pikemen mix in the heavy camels? But Wizanatic feeling confident. He wants to mix those heavy camels. He wants those heavy camel archers immediately. He believes that he can overpower his opponent with the camel archers that he's got. And they are a powerful unit, but I don't... Oh, he's got to upgrade them to elite, too. They are a powerful unit. I don't know that they're powerful enough. Well, I guess we'll see. Yeah, I'm thinking that we might. You know, we might be like... Because we've had a lot of time, and I feel like a lot of our time could have been better spent. Maybe we could have condensed certain periods, like we could have just had a map development team instead of having the map makers go through various reviews. If a map maker submits a bid for a map and that bid is accepted and we like their idea, we say go make this and we'll pay you for it. You know, we then assign them some 13 or 15 or 1600 level player as their resource that can be there at any time when they're making that map and kind of help them along and ask them hard questions and be like, you know, and be willing to do that spreadsheet for them and just help them be confident that when we submit that map for final competitivity that it will pass. Was an addict getting a little raid on the wood line here, but this is the big battle. This is the charge of the Rohirrim here. So Smokey's saying that this is a better long-term strategy. I just look like Elite Manaspa. I think Elite Manaspa counter Camel Archers. I could be delusional here. I mean, if you're, you know, Smokey's right. He's always right. Like, if Wizanatic can get a huge mass of cavalry archers, and like Ween Dinchester can never take a good fight because he's always severely outnumbered, and the camel archers are kiting them, and I could see that working very well. But I don't know. I just think this is not sufficient volumes, and maybe that's what Smokey means. Maybe it is not sufficient volumes. I mean, he is still running. He doesn't want to fight this. He's kiting this. We got a monk coming in to at least steal one of them. Now these Manaspas get extra damage, I think, when there are more of them. So that's why Ween Dinchester kind of has to wait to build up a big mass. These camel archers are going to come here and they're going to hop in the castle. Stay away from those Manaspas. Meanwhile, these Manaspas are working on this castle. And they will tear that down pretty quickly. If I were a Wizanatic, I would wall this off. I would build some stone walls in here. He's getting chemistry. I think this will help a lot. He's not getting chemistry because he wants to make bombard cannons. Wizanatic could go pikeman for a meat shield, and that could be good. Yeah, I mean, it's always a little bit disheartening making Berber pikemen, but I think they get all of the upgrades. They just don't get halves. But it's okay because Georgians don't get elephants, and really the halves are essential versus elephants. If you're doing pikemen versus elephants, you've lost. You need to at least do monks versus elephants. So we got more kiting here. Winged Dinchester building castle. You know, maybe Wizanatic is just like... maybe what drove him to go Camel Archer was the fact that he has 4 relics. Maybe he wouldn't have done it if he had only gotten 2 or 3 relics. Wizanatic is just slow to get upgrades. I don't know. I think my capture age has just showed a slowing that Wizanatic is getting the upgrades. But chemistry would have been helpful sooner, definitely, if that's what you mean. So 7 plus 3, so that's 10. 10 attack versus their Pierce Armor, which is actually 6. So they have the same, they're Elite Menace, but they have the same Pierce Armor as Cavaliers. So he's basically doing 4 damage per Cavalry Archer, or sorry, per Camel Archer right now. With Chemistry, that goes up to 5, and I think with Elite Camel Archer has 8 base attack, that goes up to 6. So he could actually do 50% more damage to these Menaspas if he had all of his upgrades. So he's instead stashed his Camel Archers here, and he is going the Heavy Camel Rider route. He's walling this off. I think it's just too late though. Camel Archers are doing damage, but the KD is not fantastic, and Wizanatic calls the GG. He knows that Winged Dinchester got him on this one. Wizanatic just wrong unit comp. Maybe he could have gotten upgrades fast enough. I'm not sure. It sucks though, resigning with thousands of resources in the bank. Oof. But I still think that it was a good game. I think that they were well played. Now we're going to go on to the next set. This is Lucho versus Shikso. Let me show these players in LibreOffice Calc first. So we just saw Winged Dinchester versus Wizanatic. So Lucho versus Shikso. So this is the number 1 versus the number 4 seed. And Lucho has been doing... So we're talking about 2.4 to 2.5k versus 2k.05. So Shikso is very similar to Wizanatic in terms of skill level. Lucho has been doing really well in the second sprint of Alchemy League. He didn't do so great in the first sprint. I'm not sure if Lucho has more time to practice on the maps now. Or maybe he's just better at these particular maps in the second season. I'm not sure what the case is. Smokey says Wizanatic didn't produce enough Camel Archers and get upgrades initially. Oh, wow. Look at how close they are together. So Lucho and Shikso are right next to each other. These guys have Portuguese versus Italians on Fortress. This is going to be really, really fun. Look at this. Look at this. Well, this is exciting. Scout coming out here, checking around. So we got Shikso is the Portuguese. He wants the organ guns. I'm wondering what Lucho's plan is with Italians. I would love to see some kind of fast imp monk treb with the Italians. I think it's quite viable on Fortress, and we haven't seen much of it so far. And it would actually hard counter organ guns too. You could get Redemption, and you could get block printing, and those organ guns wouldn't stand a chance. They'd be convertible, and the monks would be converting them from 12 tiles away. It'd be rough. Screen is totally dark. Ah, shoot. Thank you. Show the game here. Good save. Had to switch back over to the game. Now, Lucho is going to be more careful with his scout this time. I hope. They do like to scout with their kings. Remember, guys, these players are upwards of 2K. These guys know what they're doing. They're very good. But we still have seen people lose their kings on this map, even though they were in a winning position. So Lucho going to be a little bit more careful this time. We can't see the excitement, says Smokey. Smokey, you can now. Smokey's chat is slightly delayed, you guys. It has difficulty permeating all of the brilliance that separates us. All of the Age of Empires wisdom. So as you can see, again, as predicted, all of the relics are inside of this little, well, it doesn't... Oh, what's this? What's this? Shixo's king is getting shot at by the towers. He's okay, though. He's dodging the arrows. I was going to say that this doesn't look like a lightning bolt shape anymore. This looks like a scalloped axe shape. Same map as before, Frurio. You guys might be asking, why is Frurio the first map that they're playing on? Well, it's because this is a different round. This is round 6 now. The previous set was from round 5. It's hard to believe that the games are that old, but I've just been getting buried. I'm going to need some help casting Alchemy League next season. I'd really love some help. So if any of you guys know an ambitious young streamer that wants to attract views, send them my way. And we'll set this server up to announce when they go live if they cast a few sets from Alchemy League every sprint or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what... Oh no, Lucho, don't do this! Not like this, Lucho. Okay, he's actually dodging them. I'm not really sure how that king managed to dodge all of that. But I think Lucho just putting on a show for us. But, you know, the goal is, theoretically, this tournament system, like, we could have 200 players in our Alchemy League. Like, in theory, it could handle it. The only thing that is really limiting us is we don't have enough people to cast all of the games. And I don't mean to sound proud or anything like that, but my time, I don't mind casting them. I like you guys. I like getting to talk about the maps and talk with you guys. But I could, you know, there are other people that could do this. My time would be better spent planning for other alchemy type events, making maps, making tools that make maps, making tools that analyze maps. More like technical stuff, you know. I don't, like I said, I like hanging out with you guys and casting the games, and I probably miss it if I never did it, and theoretically I want my YouTube channel to go places. But I would be happy to cast fewer sets. Not because I don't like casting, but just because there's, you know, there are people that are good at it, probably better than I am, and that would give them an opportunity to help out, and I could focus on other areas that I actually am good at. Maybe I'm okay at casting. People told me they like my casts. So I'll still try to do as many of them as possible. Cookie Pirate says he'll be doing some casts. That's excellent. I would like that. I was going to cast 2 sets tonight, but I did a restart of my computer and it chewed up an hour. I got to get a new computer, you guys. And my cousin has offered to help me build one. So I'll probably take him up on that. And then the question is, what do I do with my old computer? I was thinking about turning it into some kind of server, but honestly, you can just buy computation space, you know. But I'm kind of wary about that kind of stuff. So maybe I just power all of the bots for the server off of this computer after I retire it, and then I just use my old computer. So this computer isn't trying to run Capture Age, Age of Empires, OBS, all of that at the same time. Because this computer is 10 years old. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. Part it out to offset the cost of a new one. I don't think that the parts for this computer are worth anything. Plus, if I did that, then I would have to have a backup computer, because I would have to sell the parts for this one first. I mean, I guess I could sell them before tearing the computer apart, but I want to make sure that, like, I'm not making promises I can't fulfill. You remember the evening that I bought this computer? Yeah, it's been a good computer. I put a lot of upgrades into it, a lot of time. Tech old. Yeah, I suppose I am older than most in the Age of Empires community. Not most, but a lot. So Seikilos on his way up to the Castle Age. Lucho is in the Feudal Age. And what's this? No. Lucho's Castle Age. Seikilos is on his way up to the Castle Age. Still in Feudal Age. It's slower because I think Seikilos is going on a yeah, he wants a castle. Now Lucho I think just wants to sneak in some relics. I'm not sure. You really should try to get at least one relic here. It's so easy, right? The relic is just right there. You can just walk up, snag it. You don't want to give away a relic victory on this. And it's easy to do, too. So what's the plan if you're Lucho? What is Lucho doing? Well, it looks like he's got the resources to click up to Imperial Age. So this is a fast imp. He's got a monastery. He's got a castle. He's got a blacksmith and a market. Those were used to just click up to the next stage. And he's got a barracks. So he can make a few spearmen out of that barracks. But Lucho is doing a fast imp type build. And Seikilos is doing a... I don't want to... I guess you can call it a fast castle, but this is a castle age into organ guns. And we can see that Seikilos... What's Seikilos doing? Oh, he actually wants imp as well. He's building a university and a monastery. So, I don't know. I think Seikilos kind of not really sure what he wants. I guess he's building an organ gun. Where? Oh, of course. Dummy. From his starting castle. Maybe... No, it can't be. He had to have known that he had that castle there. So, but why was he taking stone? I don't understand why Seikilos was taking stone if he already had a castle. Maybe he wanted another castle. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Seikilos clicked up. He's advancing now. He allocated the resources. And so we're going to see some kind of fast imp battle, which is really exciting, actually, to me. And this time you can see it. And it makes sense, right? These players are starting right next to each other. If a starting condition like this doesn't result in, like, ultra fast imp type aggression, I don't know what does. One thing if maybe they were starting on opposite sides of the map, but... Oh. Seikilos and Lucho are competing. Lucho realizing he can't go out there. He sends his scout out. The scout sees all these men. And Lucho deciding he's got to build this siege workshop at home instead. Monastery and university when he has a castle. That's a good point, Smokey. He probably just forgot. Or maybe he wants to get some technology at the university, like chemistry and then bombard tower. But I think that would be pretty unwieldy and expensive. He may have simply forgotten that he doesn't need the university in order to click up. I've heard it said that if you see a university, it means that somebody is going Imperial Age. So maybe he just needed, he just wanted to signal his Imperial Age. But it should be closer to the wall, if that's the case. So Seikilos is still kind of adjusting the map, I think. Probably not used to Fortress as a map. It's kind of weird, you know? It's not like traditional Arena. Although this version is much more similar to Arena. This is actually similar to Clown Arena. Look at how close these walls are. Alright, so Imperial Age for Lucho. Lucho is already rolling the trebuchets forward. He's almost done with the second one. Seikilos is going to be imp soon. This is interesting. Seikilos wants to take this gold, but Lucho towers the gold, or actually already had a tower there. Which is kind of funny. But there's no range upgrades, so Seikilos is at least going to be able to take the gold from this side. And Trebuchet coming. Now, Lucho is going to have an advantage here in terms of rolling Trebuchets out. He's got a Trebuchet numbers advantage. But Seikilos has a Trebuchet hill advantage. Let's take a look at the relic situation. Both players have... Each player has one relic, according to this. Lucho's just gotten a second. Seikilos positioning his trebuchet to attack. And in typical trebuchet fashion, it moves around the entire world before unpacking. He wants to keep this castle going. Seikilos should queue another trebuchet. Oh no, don't tell me it's queued at this castle. Oh, that's not good. There's already 3 trebuchets working on Seikilos' forward castle. He would need to buy more stone to keep this castle up. I don't think it's going to happen. And yeah, he just says, alright, well, we're done with this castle. And he's going to head home. So he is going to get block printing instead. He's got a couple of monks. Lucho only has 1 monk, but Lucho's going into chemistry, actually. And he's making bombard cannons. I think it's because Lucho expected the trebuchet fight to be more competitive. And he wanted to have bombard cannons so that he could win against trebuchets. So in order to deal with these bombard cannons, Seikilos will have to get redemption. But unfortunately for Seikilos, he's broke. So I don't know that this is going to last for much longer. That castle just did not work out for him. His opponent chose a strategy which countered his. And he was smart to realize it and try to get up to imp himself quickly. But I just don't think he had time after Lucho did what he wanted to do. So he's getting Sanctity. His cannons are going to work on that monastery. I don't know if he's going to get Sanctity in time. I think the monastery will go down. He's waiting for the gold to get redemption. And now he has the gold to click it. He could get it from this monastery here. I don't know that he will. He's got pretty much everything on gold. Building another monastery. And he's sending his monk forward to retrieve the relic. Seikilos is not in good shape here. Here's redemption. And it's researching awfully fast. He must have clicked on it while I didn't see it. But I knew he'd go for it. So he's moved the relics back, busting through this wall. You know, Genbos are really good for like a monk, a fast imp monk treb, because if you make scouts, you've already got a castle if you're doing fast imp monk treb. And so you can make these Genbos, and the Genbos are fantastic against scouts. They just crush scouts. So that's why it's hard to counter fast imp monk treb from the Italians by making scouts. But luckily for Seikilos, he does have the technologies required to deal with the unit composition of Lucho. And I think now is his moment. Lucho is getting atonement right now. He's running away. He wants to flatten these monks with cannonballs. Seikilos now sees that his monks are being targeted by enemy monks, so he will probably get atonement as well. And this will turn into an atonement monk battle, with players making 16 monasteries and putting everything on gold and just trying to make as many monks as possible, which is really the way that Age of Empires was meant to be played. The monk is the only unit that matters. Alright, so Lucho coming back. We need... Seikilos got... Okay, he's canceling the monks ahead of redemption. Sorry, ahead of atonement. But I guess he's going to build one more. He's going to try to stay alive until then. These cannons... I don't know if he's going to give away this town center. It sort of looks like he will. The monks can't move in until the town center is down. And this house is going to be destroyed. He's now housed. This monk will be created. Seikilos running out of map here. He's got 3 monasteries, a castle, and no town center. Well, no town center, no problem. Cannonball's flattening some monks, which never helps. And atonement is coming in now. Lucho targeting a single monk. Oh, we got some monk conversions, but maybe these organ guns can get in there and blow up some monks. It doesn't look like it. Looks like Seikilos is going to have to convert his monks back. Meanwhile, Lucho is still back here. We see that Lucho has a very awful farming economy, which is typical of this type of strategy. Yeah, Cookie Pirates is propaganda. Alright, so here we go. Seikilos is also lacking in Sanctity, which is why these cannons hurt the monks so much. I think he's almost out of monks, though. I think Seikilos Shikso's almost lost all of his monks to conversions. He does have a ton of villagers that are still on gold. He's got 13 on gold. And he is now making monks continuously. He's got the upgrades that he needs to be competitive here, but it's just too late. Shikso calls the GG, but still a lot of fun to watch. And Lucho takes the first game. Lucho just kind of had a better start here, and Shikso could never really recover from losing this castle on the hill. Now let's watch them play Greek Arabia. This is the map that they are least afraid of. This map was selected via a discard system, and they kept on taking they took turns getting rid of maps until they were left with just this one. So Eagle Arabia, boys. Not too far away this time. I mean, what do you want to know? It's just Arabia with an eagle. Everybody likes eagles, right? Eagles are significant for ancient Greek mythology. Smokey says GG. Yes. Yeah, it was a good game. It's easy for us to look at that and say, "Oh, Shikso, what did you do? What have you done? You should have done that differently." But you know, Lucho is 2.4 to 2.5K. So, you know, it's hard. Although Smokey has beaten Lucho before. Lucho has been beaten. They can beat him. Oh, wait a second. Look at this. And guys, I should point out that Shikso has technically a little bit of handicap. Hey, have a great night, Cookie Pirate. Shikso has handicap. I forgot to mention that last time, too. Shikso has a 5% handicap against Lucho, because that's what our ELO calculator says he should get. I don't recall if it was there in the first game. I guess there's nothing we can do about it now. We're not going to make them go back and replay it if they forgot it. But that's something to bear in mind, too, is that Lucho is just that good. Yeah, the Arabia map is pretty open. You don't have player-assigned wood lines. There are a lot of wood lines, but they are far away. Your gold and stone are closer than your wood line, which is pretty scary. Let's talk about the civilizations here. Shikso, Chinese. We've seen Shikso play a Chinese scouts build before on this map, and it worked out pretty well for him. Lucho is playing as the Malay, which could be an interesting counter. The Malay advance more quickly to the next stage, which makes him pretty weird. I thought I saw a villager go down, but it was actually just a deer. So that means that the Malay can click up after you, because they've been spending their time making villagers, and still beat you to the next stage. And they would have had more villagers working that whole time. So they actually have a stronger economy than you do. That's the crazy part. Let's see if we can keep an eye here on what Shikso's up to. Sending a third villager out to chop the wood. So this is telling me that he's got a scouts build. We'll look at that a little bit later, and if we see that Shikso has sent a fourth villager to wood, then we'll know it's not scouts. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be scouts. I think Shikso is going to be playing it safe and going with the Chinese scouts build that he knows and loves. Shikso is 2 villagers ahead of Lucho, which is a big economic advantage this early in the game. He has a little bit of idle time, but it's okay, because Chinese. You know, this is about where they start with 3 extra villagers, and this is about a villager right here. So let's see. Lucho 4 on wood, so he's going archers, and Shikso still 3 on wood. So I think Shikso is indeed going scouts. This starting scout is pretty useless, but we might still see Shikso or Lucho fight with him. But it could be more dangerous because the villagers are technically slightly stronger. Let's take a look at the villager statistics. Oh, come on. There we go. He's got 41 HP because of the handicap. Isn't this weird, you guys? Only in Alchemy League. Only in Alchemy League. We have a 2K player playing with handicap in Alchemy League. Just because he needs to. He needs it. He needs it against Lucho. Lucho is just too good. And maybe Schickso will tie it up. We'll have to see. So Lucho sending more over. He's created a second lumber camp. This is a 22 pop archers build, I think. And it's a lightning 22 pop archers build, too. The only thing that's missing is for Lucho to send some villagers over to gold. So barracks. Yeah, Lucho has not gone over to gold yet, which is kind of strange. Not sure what he's waiting for. Maybe Lucho is going to do like a lightning rush kind of thing, and he's just going to make 2 militia. But I don't know. Alright, Schickso wants to feel safe. He's building his stable here. We kind of predicted that. And he is walling to the edge of the map. Lucho getting loomed because he sees that Schickso is in feudal age. And he does not want to give Schickso the opportunity to kill any villagers. So Loom's going to come in, and his villager's a lot sturdier. Okay, actually, this is interesting. This is a Malay Scouts build. Is Lucho, you know, are his scouts going to be faster than Schickso's? No, because Schickso's already made a scout. And Schickso's sending this scout. I think he was chasing this thing. Yeah, Schickso wants this. He's going to kill this, I think. Nope. It's just randomly scouting. Well, that's fine, too. Lucho with the greedy palisades. Look at all of this. This is a huge wood investment here. I don't know that Lucho's going to get away with that. It's possible, Smokey. It's possible. Or maybe they were just really good. Maybe they just had the game of their life. So Schickso, he's got 2 scouts. He's making a 3rd. And I think that he's going to go 3 scouts for now. See if he can cause some mayhem against his opponent. Lucho wants to get these walls up in time. I don't know if he will. Schickso will be pretty disappointed if that is the case. Lucho's walls are more advanced than Schickso's walls. And Schickso microing the scout in front of this other scout to block it and do additional damage, which is pretty smart. But Lucho smartly wasting Schickso's time, allowing him to get these walls up. There might be a hole here, I'm not sure. That scout goes down, and now Schickso's looking for a way in. The handicap in previous seasons of Alchemy League was pretty bad. I had to go in and fix some bugs about it. The very first season was okay, but then we had some fluctuation or some bug that crept in from another update that I did, and then I had to go in and fix it. So, saying that somebody had handicap versus you in a previous season of Alchemy League to this one is not really saying very much. But now we've nailed the handicap. Like, we might make some slight adjustments, but the handicap is good, I think. The method, the way that it comes up with it, the table, everything, it's just, we've got that program ironed out. And we didn't at first. So we've seen Schickso do this before. If he can't get in, he will send villagers forward to build a tower and do a tower rush. And he does want to get in. Now he's got to be careful. There is a defensive spearman on patrol for Lucho. Now Schickso has a spearman of his own. Let's see, I don't know if Lucho has spotted that spearman. He may have. Or, sorry, the villagers. But the tower is going to go up. This tower doesn't really deny much. I guess it denies most of this wood line, which is important. And Lucho can't really stop this tower from going up, actually. I guess he can build his own defensive tower, and he's taking this more seriously than I believe it was Leon did. Lucho trying to get in there and having a little piece of the villager, but... So both towers are going to go up. Schickso's going to build his tower, and then I think Lucho's going to power through and build his own tower. And ultimately, Seikilos will not be able to get in this manner. Now, we should note that Seikilos has, with his aggression, he has denied Lucho's main gold. Lucho does have a back gold back here, which is good for him. Seikilos also using this opportunity to kind of start to wall up this region, you can see. But he's going to build this mining camp first. He's starting to go on gold, and Seikilos is thinking about Castle Age. Lucho is still in the Feudal Age, actually. And I don't know if Lucho's going to be up to Castle Age anytime soon. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Alright, Lucho... Alright, Lucho's onto this. He's wise to it. And he's building a couple house foundations here to keep Seikilos out. Seikilos repairing and continuing to pressure. Now, Lucho is not really under pressure to click up immediately either. You know, he's melee, he advances faster, so he can almost react to his opponent being up. So Seikilos got to come back here and fight these scouts off. Villagers are going to pop out, do a little bit of repair, get shot at, and then hop back in the tower. In classic tower rush style. Seikilos is unfortunate in that he can't deny this stone. I think that this could come back later in the game. Now, it could be that Lucho is just taking this stone because he's motivated by the desire to repair his tower and potentially make additional town centers in Castle Age. But part of me suspects that there's a more sinister motive here. Lucho, like, microing back these weak villagers. I guess Seikilos has killed something, which is good for him. Because he is behind in villager count. No, I just tied up. But I suspect that Lucho has a castle planned for Castle Age. But Seikilos does click first, and this is what he needs. And I don't know what Seikilos will do. Let's check his buildings. Actually, he is taking stone. So, Seikilos wants to go into them Chokunus. I guess they're pretty powerful. Or maybe he just wants to build more towers, but I think that that's a lot of villagers to repair a tower. He only needs 2 villagers to repair a tower. Continuously. But no additional stables at all. You know, if we saw additional stables, this would tell us that Seikilos was planning on making lots of knights. But that is not the case. And we can see that Lucho, despite clicking after, Seikilos is going to be there first. Because melee. So, interestingly enough, Seikilos is actually doing some serious damage to the stable here. It would be a good win for him if he could destroy it. I don't think that will happen, though. I think Lucho will just repair it. But he'll make... Okay, he's making a knight. I was considering whether or not he'd make a knight or an elephant, but knights provide the mobility that he needs. Seikilos' tower goes down, so he instead decides to tower this location. And just keep that gold in denial. Lucho building another town center here. I think this town center is a little bit greedy. Seikilos has demonstrated that he's really out to get Lucho. Seikilos wants Lucho dead. He does not want to give him any space to do anything at all. He knows how dangerous a 2.5k player is. The irony actually is, I think Seikilos would do well from booming. I really do. He's got the handicap. The handicap is more powerful after you've boomed. Lucho building another town center out here. And he does have the knights to fight this off. Seikilos manages to evacuate his villagers, though, without losing anything, which is a good win for him. The villagers could have been working, but I guess they were kind of doing damage earlier, repairing towers and garrisoning for extra arrows. So, it's not the end of the world. Castle here for Seikilos. This castle will secure his gold, which will be very useful. He's got some villagers on the gold back here, and the castle will also secure this opening to his base. He's being diligent about continuing to wall things off. The first of Lucho's knights are coming in here, but Seikilos will get this castle up in time. And Chokunu are being made. Excellent. I love Chokunu. So, What do you do against Chokunu anyway? I guess you can make knights, but if your opponent has enough Chokunu, it doesn't really matter. They just chew through high pierce armor targets. I mean, I'm not going to try to kid you. Knights still counter Chokunu, but it's not a hard counter like it would be with traditional archers. I would love to see Shikso's rampaging Chokunus around here. Shikso does have some cavalry. He's made some knights, but not a lot. And he wants a raid in. I think he'll get it. Well, he'll deny that house. And this is what I was worried about. So Lucho's going to come back here and he's going to find this gold, if he hasn't already. Shikso quick walling it. Yeah, this is why partial walls are just a bad idea. Okay, so Lucho getting his first eco kill. And then his second eco kill, so he's tied it up with Shikso. Lucho's 62 villagers to Shikso's 44. Shikso building a town center here to keep these villagers safe. And he started on a house. Lucho's actually gotten a third villager kill. So I guess if you were Malay, you counter Chokunus with skirmishers, maybe, or a lot of mangonels. Chokunus machine gunning down those spearmen. Shikso deciding to build a gate here. He'll probably wall this off too. So what's the plan for Shikso? I guess he's got 2 town center. Lucho's on 3 town center. I think Shikso really needs to decide what he wants to do. Lucho getting crossbowman upgrade. This crossbow are... they're like Chokunu, but they're better. Maybe Lucho reasons that he can make crossbowmen in sufficient numbers that the Chokunus aren't going to be a problem. The crossbows have better range and attack. You know, they will win for an equal resource investment against Chokunu. But they're not as good against high pierce armor targets as Chokunu are. So it's a bit of a trade-off. But Chokunu are the better unit, in my opinion. Which makes sense, because they're a unique unit. So Shikso's here, he's counterattacking. I think Shikso's made his decision. He's creating a mangonel. And he wants in. It's a forward siege workshop, it's a big investment. And this is again Shikso trying to kill Lucho before Lucho gets all boomed up. This mangonel is going to be helpful against this ball of crossbows. I say that a little bit sarcastically, because at this level, like, the crossbows just do the split thing and they just dodge all the rocks. But in theory, the mangonel should help, especially because there are lots of other supporting units. Lucho making a siege workshop of his own to defend, to make mangonels and defend. But it's not going to do much because now that this stable is down, Shikso can just come in here and eat mangonels with knights. Although, let's check and see. Actually, the knights and the scouts have no armor, so it would be pretty rough to fight these crossbows. So he should really try to keep them back as much as he can. But he does have a second mangonel. Lucho making mangonel as well. He's got knights coming in. Where's the mangonel? Is the mangonel going to pop out? No, he's got the flags. Alright, so he's holding on to it, which is smart. Here comes the mangonel. He's got to try to reposition this mangonel to get like a free 2-for-1 shot against these mangonels. The knights are on the prowl. We're going to see some armies dancing pretty soon. Shikso just going to kick the can down the road and try to micro trade here with Lucho, which I think is a mistake, but I'm not really sure what more he can do. If I were maybe this is bad advice, but I would just try to get the armor upgrades for the cavalry. It seems like he has enough of them, and then just try to dive mangonels when appropriate. And he kind of is going in that direction because he's destroyed the house, and I would assume he did that to make it easier for knights to get in. Lucho getting the mangonel here, but Schickso getting revenge and getting another mangonel. Hill advantage here. Unfortunately for Schickso, he loses his last mangonel. So he's got to make another one. But the Knights are able to finish off that mangonel. At great cost, though. This town center is doing a ton of damage because they only have the first armor. Schickso should try not to give up this hill. Lucho has a ton of stone. Lucho has enough stone to build a castle, but he has not done so yet. Schickso's got the castle. He's got only 2 town centers. I think Schickso's trying to mass resources to click up to Imp. I could be wrong. But Imp, maybe he feels that like Bracer's availability and Imp will help him out a lot here. He's building a monastery to keep an eye on this location. And here comes Lucho. Lucho actually wants to take this gold. I don't think he can. I don't think he can take that gold. I think Schickso will sit here with his Chokunus and kill a bunch of villagers. But Lucho's out of gold now, so it's time. It's come time to pay the piper. Lucho was playing defensively here. He gave Schickso a lot of map, and now he's going to pay for it a little bit. But I think Lucho just has so many resources, it doesn't matter at this point. He's mostly defended the way that he needed to. And the Chokunu is getting some hits on that mangonel. They're almost ironically more effective against the mangonel than another mangonel. Look at that. There goes the split micro as Schickso caves into the dark side. Kills a mangonel with archers. He's had some really good luck with flattening enemy siege weapons so far. But Lucho is on his way to the Imperial Age and he's going to be there really quick. Because he's melee. But Schickso... Should Schickso be going up as well? Yeah, Schickso has queued up Imperial behind this villager. So Schickso will get up there. He's just got to survive. And I think he's going to be a little bit surprised. Maybe not. Maybe this is all completely reasonable. To be 113 villagers and Imp within like 35 minutes on Arabia. But, you know, that's the level of play we're dealing with here. So Schickso has detected that that Lucho's actually trying to build a castle here, and he's got Chokunus. Oh no! Yeah, this gold is not looking good here for Lucho. Schickso's getting some revenge. He's got to withdraw from this area. Gold is so important. Now, does Lucho know about this gold back here? Let's see. Lucho does have stone, and he's... I think he's selling the stone. No, he does not know about it. So, Imperial Age counting down for Schickso. Lucho getting Chemistry, Arbalister, and Bracer. So his archers are about to become a lot more powerful. These are about to become the kinds of archers... Oh, I wouldn't gamble with that for now. These are about to become the kinds of archers that can just flatten mangonels very easily. And now he's not going to out-micro ballistics there. So Lucho is going to get this castle up. He'll secure this area. He has enough archers. He's about to have all the upgrades that he needs. I mean, Schickso would love to deny this, but it's Arbalisters with Bracer, right? So you just can't get too close with the mangonels anymore. Especially at this level. So Schickso, recognizing that can't take this gold anymore, so he's going to come back here and take this wood. 82 villagers versus 122, so it's not too bad. I'd like to see Schickso build a town center like right here or something. You know, or over here. Just to, you know, expand his eco out so that when his opponent comes up here with the Arbalisters, he's got some place to hide. And I think that's what he's doing, right? He's deleting this palisade wall. And he's going to come out here and build a town center. Just spread out across the map. But first he's going to build a castle to keep his economy safe. He knows these archers are coming his way. He can see them. A war band. Yeah, there they are. He saw them headed that way. He knows they're coming. Yeah, the buildings are telling him. He's like, oh, well, I got to get out of here. This castle's a good play. Archery range, elite skirmisher. Shikso going into skirmishers. There's a castle here. Both castles are working on trebuchets. This castle battle is a little bit more even, actually. For whatever reason, it took Lucho a while to start working on that trebuchet. It could be because his gold was denied for a while. I'm not exactly sure. Or it could be that he was just distracted. That happens too. But of course, with bombard cannons, Shikso's going to have a hard time. Maybe that's why he's not engaged this. Shikso has just finished elite skirmisher. He's made the trebuchet and he's sending another trebuchet forward. But boy, do these bombard cannons make it hard. So he's got a ram for the bombard cannon. I love it. Alright, so here comes Shikso with his ram. He's going to chase those bombard cannons away. Bombard cannons are going to attack ground on the ram. Mangonel steals a hit off on this trebuchet. But Lucho's just too much. Lucho's too much. We got Karambits. Karambits are pretty bad. But in large numbers, they're surprisingly dangerous. Lucho continuing to invest in the skirmisher upgrade. I know he sees archers, but I'm not exactly sure what archers it is that he's afraid of. Shikso only has 9 military. So he's really trying to just hang on here. He's built another ram to chase the cannons away. But these villagers are just going to shank it. Shikso's forward castle goes down. He's got 13 military. Where is it? Making skirmishers. 13 military and 89 villagers. He has to go home. Lucho will not be far behind him. That's my prediction. Conscription for Lucho so that he can pump out those Karambits even faster. No. He's actually just making skirm. Here comes Lucho. He's got 62 military to Shikso's 21. The cannons are just so hard for Chinese. You really need light cav to deal with them. And Shikso was going cavalry for a little while, but it's just tough. I think Malay are the better civilization between these two. Although, he does manage to micro the cannon down, which is pretty impressive. And maybe he can do something here with this trebuchet, but he's just outnumbered. Final armor coming in for Shikso on his ranged units. His ranged units are going to have all of the armor upgrades. I believe that, yeah, Lucho's still missing in armor, so Shikso's actually better armored than Lucho is. Shikso repairing the castle is about to run out of stone. Shikso with 9 7 military to Lucho's 65. I don't know how Shixo comes back from this, you guys. There's even a bunch of Lucho villagers in the middle of Shixo's town, and yeah, Shixo calls the GG. So Lucho coming back here with a vengeance in this sprint of Alchemy League. He stands the potential to earn quite a pretty heap of cash here. If he keeps powering through all of his opponents, who can stop Lucho? We even gave these guys handicap, but Lucho's just too tough. But GG, well played to both players. Very entertaining set. But this Eco KD here toward the end, oof. Yeah, look at that. Yep. Alright guys, it's been a great cast. I really appreciate you joining me. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to stick around and chat. I gotta crawl into bed and go to work the next morning. But I'm gonna try to power through more of these sets from Alchemy League. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in and spreading the word about our league. I have worked very hard to bring this league to you guys, and we're open to feedback. Can't do everything, but let's have a discussion and see how we can improve it, because I really think that Alchemy League has the potential to go very far and be very special in the Age of Empires community. And the reason for that is because we have an awesome group of people. Not just me, but just an awesome group of people that make it possible. So thank you so much, guys. I've enjoyed casting, and thanks to all those who hung out with me tonight, and we'll see you soon.